So, people, you guys saw the thumbnail. You saw the results. You saw the truth. I don't do the favoritism thing. I just speak honest. I speak honestly, and pretty much everybody don't see things the same exact way. But only a fool would deny facts. Notice, every single week, if AEW is in that 600-something thousand range of fans or viewership for Collision or Dynamite, it's always, this week's Dynamite has the lowest ratings ever since October. This week's Dynamite, only had 600 such and such thousand, right? They always do this, but you notice they're not showing you. They're not talking about what the viewership is of NXT. Notice how, especially when AEW's ratings are higher. So isn't it funny that all of a sudden they hit that 700-something plus thousand mark? Now all of a sudden, nobody wants to talk about their ratings this week, this past weekend on Collision. So this is what I'm saying. And the fact that NXT was in that 600-something thousand viewership mark, with all of this TNA invading NXT invading TNA, it still didn't have a higher rating than Collision. Why? And I told you guys, what's funny? Because I was watching, somebody made a video saying, since the Forbidden Door concept is being taken to another level by the WWE, I guess, I'm pretty sure AEW won't do that anymore. And I'm like, wow, you guys are such fools, man. Forbidden Door is one of their pay-per-views, man. Are you an idiot? And their Forbidden Door stories is a lead-up to a match. Somebody will come out that's not expected, but if it's supposed to be like a dream match, yeah, you'll know ahead of time. And even if you don't, if you was to find out the night of the pay-per-view, that's a shocker. That would be, oh shit, that's a holy shit moment, right? Nobody expected that. But at the same time, this is not a Forbidden Door concept that WWE is doing. Yeah, they stole what Tony Khan was doing, but all it is overkill. Once again, let's look at NXT, in this TNA situation where Trick Williams comes over and lays out Joe Hendry. Bad enough he gets beat. And this goes to show you, I got to say this, man. TNA, they are being treated like a bunch of suckers right now. Because they're just happy to say they had someone from TNA on a WWE pay-per-view. Oh my God, Joe Hendry got his ass kicked by Randy Orton. Our champion got beaten like 5 minutes, at WrestleMania. Wow. So here's the thing. Here's Joe Hendry comes out. He gets laid out by Trick Williams. And one of the stupid things I noticed about, I noticed this about TNA and NXT. People that are heel, some of these people that are heels on NXT are playing the face in TNA. Some people that are heel in TNA are playing the face on NXT and vice versa. It's weird. But Trick Williams comes out, he lays out Joe Hendry. Wow, some champion you guys have. Once again, Moose was fighting against Kenny Omega. Okay? Kazarian was wrestling against Christian Cage. TNA are wrestling against a bunch of fucking developmental wrestlers. Once again, this is why you hear The Rock or Becky Lynch or Rhea Ripley or anybody else from SmackDown or Raw always telling a talent that they're trying to push, see you on the main roster one day, right? That's why. Because NXT, that's their developmental bullshit. Now, that being said, I'm watching all this silence. I'm noticing all this silence. Nobody wants to talk about AEW's viewership when it outshines, NXT. Well, I don't really personally care about viewership numbers because it doesn't matter how many people watch the show to me for me to enjoy it. I don't know who's watching the show, right? But, of course, if you're getting viewership, you're getting more interest, that's better for business. Of course, I get that. What I'm saying is I only point these things out because it's always one-sided. Let's try to shit on AEW. Let's try to talk down on them. Nobody's talking about how TNA's ratings aren't going any fucking where. They can't even get fucking 250,000. These motherfuckers, you understand what I'm saying? Everything that I keep hearing is always, damn. We have to talk shit about AEW. We have to talk down about them. Now look at this mess going on between Triple H and The Rock. You guys must forget about the type of trash you talk about Tony Khan. You don't know what he's doing. He's ruining AEW. They should get Scott D'Amore to come in. They should get I know, Jim Cornette, Paulie, I know, just everybody that don't fucking run shit. Everybody that works for someone. yeah, that's real smart. Let's go get these guys. So, anyways, I'm listening to what's being said, and I said, you know what? Here's how this works. As for AEW, they're doing what they're doing, and they should be proud of where they are, and I'm pretty sure Tony Khan is. And once again, Tony Khan answers questions by saying, like when they ask him about the hate and the backlash, and he knows that hate and backlash is only coming from WWE fans. You know, for AEW fans, who any of us that's honest enough to say when something like, fuck do I gain out of line? If I don't like something, I'll say, I don't like it. But if I do, I'll tell you I do. But he knows where it's coming from. But Tony Khan has never even told WWE fans to go fuck off. Triple H told WWE fans to go fuck off, though. So, only thing I want to hear from you is when you like what we're doing. You guys are some goddamn fools to spend $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 just to say I went to WrestleMania or some bullshit. You probably don't even have money in your college kids for. You probably don't even have money for your kids to go to college. Because you'd rather go watch fucking CM Punk and all these fucking idiots. All people flipping around and ringing the damn draws. It's not that serious. It's just a show. I told you, they've become bougie and they're making their product for rich people or for people to go break their pockets. Now, it's your fault, not theirs if you're that dumb to go do it. But it goes to show you, it's just like, for example, I remember somebody was talking about, I think it was Allen Iverson. And he was saying how, I like Allen Iverson because he make his shoe for his fans. He know everybody can't afford $200 shoes like Jordan with them Nikes and this and that. And I said, man, they have different versions of Nikes, and you do not have to spend your money just because they're priced that high. I said, as far as Allen Iverson goes, hey, man, hopefully he stays in business. Because one thing you got to understand, people aren't loyal. And a lot of people won't pay attention to the fact that his sneaker is that low so people can afford it. And plus, there's no real demand for an Allen Iverson shoe. Okay? But for all of these people that just run and say, oh, well, this is too high, that's too high. So wait a minute. You think that if you say, hey, man, I went to WrestleMania, that make you somebody? If you went and broke your damn bank just to say I was at WrestleMania, you think that make you special? Somebody cared that you went, okay, you went to WrestleMania. And then what? The longer you live, man, whatever you remember from that, if the most productive thing you've done in your life, the biggest moments in your life that put a smile on your face, is you sitting up here talking about, come on, man, is you sitting up here talking about you went to WrestleMania, you know, you don't have a goddamn life. Get your dumb ass out the road. That's what I thought. All right, anyway. Sorry, y'all. Well, I'm not sorry. I'm sorry that dumb shit happened. But anyways, so what happens is really simple. You know, goddamn, slow the fuck down, man. What the, oh my, boy, these motherfuckers. Sorry, I'm in the parking lot right now. So I'm driving slow. Paying attention, and these people, come on, I'm giving it to you, come on. There you go. You're welcome. Wow, these people are slow. So anyways, I don't know what cereal box these people get their license from. I don't. But anyways, so what happens You know, you're putting yourself mentally in a position of being able to say, I went to WrestleMania. Okay, you have a YouTube channel. You monetize your channel. Yeah, I did this, I did that. You can post pictures and videos. Okay, great. You met some people backstage and you paid money just to shake someone's hand and take a picture with them. Okay, your choice. But what I'm saying is really simple. When it comes to, people always talk about giving back to the fans. You think giving to your fans is taking money that you know, especially in this economy, how hard it is? I can't blame the WWE because you're dumb enough to spend that kind of money. But I will say, they know that they have you. See, they're so busy telling you, we have a sold-out 16,000 people in Milwaukee or wherever the hell they are. They always want to make it known. No problem. Okay, you got a sellout crowd. What happens when you say that and the crowd is completely dead? Then all of a sudden, you have another show. Crowd is completely dead. If people continue to come out in these places just because it's just something to do or whatever, or they just love the WWE so much, fine. But what we're saying is, it's really simple. For people like myself and others that see the low quality garbage that they're giving us, we've outgrown the product that they have. And pretty much these younger, immature type minded people who it's just, boom, give them anything, they'll just take it. Just feed me more. Yeah. I don't care if the story doesn't make any sense. Then why have a storyline if it's not going to make any sense? I don't care if we're not getting really good wrestling matches. I'm just here for the entertainment. Like all this nonsense. So here's the deal. Let's look at, for example, let's look at the story developing with Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins. This just doesn't feel right at all. There's no intrigue in it. There's nothing that I really see good happening from this situation. I don't understand. This dude just lost his championship. When you lose a championship, what do you usually do? Especially when it's like, he didn't even lose it in a feud. He lost it in a fatal 4-way to some fucking luchadors. And what he's not even trying to get his title back. Just stick him in a fashion. Let's create this. Paul Heyman is too fucking fat, old, and slow to be effective, to do anything other than just stand. You notice once he gets in the ring, he doesn't get back out. He just stands there, and nobody puts a finger on him, right? He just stands there. He can't get out the way. He can't do anything. He can't really contribute anything but just stand in his suit looking fat. You turned your back on Brock, turned your back on Roman for Punk, then turned your back on Punk for Roman, then turned your back on Roman for Seth. Make this make sense. It would make more sense if he did this for Braun Breaker. Something where because Braun is younger, fresher, has a lot more years left to, than they do now. And, Seth, he did this for Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, these guys are all in the same age group. They're all in their 40s together. Now you decide to do this for Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins' character absolutely sucks. I don't like his character. His stupid little song, the way he dressed, he's a weirdo. And I just don't understand how. I don't understand how, like what is it about his character sucks, man. I really don't see how this is even like something that interests anybody. This is so much garbage. This whole thing makes zero sense whatsoever. Cody loses, he disappears. I'm not going to say I miss seeing him because I don't, but he disappears for a little bit, okay. Fine. But all we have right now is just a bunch of, let's throw this together. Let's bring Becky Lynch back. We knew that Becky Lynch was the one that attacked Bayley. After she came out, I said, I told you in the previous video, I called it Becky Lynch. When the mystery tag partner came out and it was Becky, I said, okay, so it only makes sense to make this short and sweet instead of trying to carry on a mystery just for her to reveal it later would have made little sense. Like and which is some shit that they like to do, and then do all of this in the reveal. Oh, like, yeah, shocking. We knew it was Becky. But the whole thing with that is, when she came out, she admitted it right off the bat, because there was no build-up, there was no real intrigue. This was some bullshit. And I said, for the longest time, they're treating Bayley like she's not shit. Bayley's popping up on SmackDown. She's popping up on Raw. She's on NXT. She can't have a decent title reign. The fans have gotten to the point where they don't expect anything out of Bayley but to just be a workhorse that just have matches for fucking nothing. So I'm looking at that and I'm saying, okay, if you look at the product of SmackDown, the product of Raw, the product of NXT is not as... I've never really been big on NXT, but there were times where I feel like they had a more exciting show than Raw and SmackDown. Okay? People get hurt, injuries happen. I know that. Things are always going to happen. So you always have to have a plan B, and a lot of times it throws off and mess up what was originally planned, because you had matches set, like big matches set, big name, something, even first time matches. That's not even what's happening in the WWE right now. I mean, we know Bianca, they say she injured her hand or whatever. A lot of times in wrestling, you don't know if an injury is real or not, because a lot of times, it might be a situation of someone just needing to take some time off or for whatever personal reasons or whatever, so they'll have a storyline with someone that got injured. Now, Bianca says she injured her hand in the match. I didn't see any point where she looked like she injured herself. But, okay, bottom line, long-term, short-term disappearance for a little while, whatever. Even with Bianca, even with all the big names, the product is just not solid. In fact, to be honest with you, outside of like the Jade Cargill, Naomi, Bianca situation, which I thought was very lame and very weak, really, man, the better matches on SmackDown or Raw, a lot of times it comes down to the females. I really don't understand, like, you guys, like if you look at pay-per-view, that's why I said WWE has too many pay-per-views, man. We back in the TNA days, we had the same conversation. Where it's like, man, listen, they had a fucking pay-per-view every fucking month. Every fucking month. Now, it's up to you to pick and choose which ones you want to see, if you want to see all of them. But goddamn, you got other things going on in your life. And at some point, you got to pick and choose. What do I want to see more of? Is it wrestling? Is it boxing? Is it family time? Is it something, like what is it that I want to do? I want to join a gym. What is it that I want to do? Man, you're spreading your money around. And for someone to tell their fans to go the fuck off, I couldn't respect that at all. And I look at things like this. Let's be real. Mr. The Final Boss. What does that actually mean anyway? Because people was looking forward to a character with this guy that they felt like was going to be used more, show his face more, be more involved in the product, right? That's not what's happening. That is not what's happening. And even for The Rock to feel like his presence wasn't needed, man, you should have showed up, man. Come on, this is WrestleMania, right? No, I'm in charge now. Big shot. Ego gets bigger. This is exactly what I mean about, see, Tony Khan isn't an on-screen character. I'm trying to take all the glory. That's not what Tony Khan is about. So the few times that mostly when you see Tony Khan, he's coming out to congratulate somebody. He's coming out to address the crowd and stuff like that. Thank the crowd, show appreciation to the crowd, stuff like that. He was involved in a quick storyline with a couple of times, like basically with the Young Bucks and with what's the dude's name, Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, whatever, stuff like that. But like he's not an on-screen character. Okay, The Rock is. Triple H is, but not as a wrestler. But bottom, you understand? So my point is, when you say you have a position, when you say that you have a love and a passion for this business, for this company, for this brand, Man, you not flying on no fucking airplane, first class, second class, nothing. You have private jets. You motherfuckers have no excuse to not show your faces. And The Rock knows. They know that they use this dude for fucking ratings. They know that they know this shit about. They know it. But at the same fucking time, he come out with this lame, I want you to be my champion story. And then what does he do? What does he do? They don't even follow this shit up. But they decide Travis Scott showing his little skinny ass is supposed to be something that the WWE fans want. Then I see this annoying, what's her name, Cardi B. Hey, what's up, WWE fans? I'm going to be at SummerSlam or whatever the fuck event, the Royal Rumble or whatever the hell they got going. And I'm just like, what the fuck happened to the WWE, man? Like what happened to the WWE? Because if you think that Cardi B or all these rappers, Sexy Red, all of them are supposed to get the black people involved or get the hip-hop crowd involved or whatever the fuck, like, I don't give a fuck about no damn Cardi B. I'm not watching your product for them. I don't care that you have different celebrities involved. It's just like the people that you choose are the most annoying, I don't know shit about wrestling. They just cut me a fat paycheck, and I'm doing it for that reason. What the fuck? And nobody better not test me. Like, everybody outside of wrestling is a better fighter than a fucking wrestler. Wrestlers get punked and bitched by people that's not even, like when AEW had Snoop Dogg coming, he did that little bullshit top rope dive, and I'm like, what the fuck? All right, man, whatever, man. Air Snoop Dogg, yeah, whatever. Okay. It just gets to the point where certain shit you do, you got to think like, nah. Wrestling needs that kick-ass feeling. It needs that, hey, man, we're about wrestling. But no, now, and I got to say this. And I'm going to. You see, because of the sensitivity, everybody's in their feelings. Everybody is so emotionally distraught. Everybody has mental health issues. No, we can't be too barbaric. We can't be. You motherfuckers sit here chanting ECW, ECW. Yet, you guys are sitting up here talking about what ECW, like the stuff that ECW did. And I'm not saying that's the route I want to see AEW go with all the, like, I don't mean that kind of barbaric, because that to me is just overkill when you just get it all the time. But what I'm saying is, how the fuck can you sit here and chant ECW? If this was happening right now, you guys complain because Moxley was, like, he really was going to actually suffocate Bryan Danielson, right? With the back. You complain because he got suplexed on a fucking barbed wire on the barbed wire board that Adam Copeland had. This generation is too soft, man. And I'm just being real. This is why people like for example, somebody was asking me something. Let me break down the difference to you guys. Now, let me give an example of something. Sonny Kiss is a born male. But you know that. You can see that. Do you really think, now let's just be real. Do you really think somebody wants to see Sonny Kiss world champion of AEW or WWE? Or TNA, the world heavyweight champion? TNA can't complain. He could easily be the champion of TNA because Jordan Grace was at one point. Tessa Blanchard was at one point. So why can't Sonny Kiss be the world champion at TNA? Notice how Sonny Kiss says he feels he was discriminated against because of his appearance and, what he identifies or whatever. And I'm like, okay, but hold up. Here's the deal. If I'm wrong, right? If I'm wrong, show me anywhere in the history of pro wrestling that a major company has had an openly gay person, a transgender or whoever, as their world heavyweight champion, a big company. You can't find that shit. Yet, you will let a female, 110 pound, 15 to whatever, go in there and beat Brian Cage. So, what I'm saying, we've come into this shit where let's embrace and embody people to express themselves or who they are. This is what I said about Anthony Bowens. I said, man, listen, if the dude is gay, he's gay. This is business. I'm not sitting here watching these motherfuckers wrestle, worrying about their sexuality. But my thing was, I think for me, that's when The Acclaim always got love from people, but I think that shit might have just turned a lot of people off because it's like the fact that you're gay. What's the purpose? So now every storyline you have to have a reason to just keep letting everybody know how gay you are. Like, okay, motherfucker, we heard you. The same way you heard me say I don't like storylines like how they had Bobby Lashley and Lana, like somebody fucking somebody else's wife and all that. I don't, man, this is not the movies. This is where I'm saying where people just get too caught up into this shit. So Anthony Bowen's return to AEW, right? He always had like that intensity about himself and all or whatever, but you know, he changed his gear and all that, his look or whatever. Okay, cool. This is what I'm talking about. Why the fuck do we need to dig into your personal life? I don't give a fuck about your sexuality. I'm not watching no wrestler going, I wonder if he's gay or straight. I'm not watching a woman going, I wonder if she's straight or lesbian. So why are we, everything has to be, let's try to embody everybody and put everybody into the fold to the point where there's no real masculinity. There's nothing barbaric. There's nothing. Let's take a 350-pound guy like Braun Strowman and let him get beat by the smallest guy on the fucking roster because, hey, it's all about no limits. We're just entertaining. Sports entertainment. See, and this is where I said, if that's what the WWE want to do, let them have that bullshit. Once TNA started following that shit, they got less and less popular. When I see certain wrestlers already, like you get that feel, that person might win an Intercontinental Championship or might win one of them little titles or maybe it's that, but they're not going to win the big one. Nah, and it plays out the same way all the time. It's predictable that they're never going to be up here with everybody else. And so my thing is, if you're okay with being a gay wrestler, right? Transgender or whatever, where you get to express that you're gay, you're transgender, you're lesbian, whatever. Okay, that's what you're happy about because you can express that, okay, fine. Now, the fact that you're not going to win shit. Now, look at Nyla Rose, for example. Nyla Rose has lost a lot of matches. Okay, Nyla Rose was the first champion, right? First or second champion. Yes, I remember her and Rio beefing, but bottom line, first or second champion. What I'm saying, Nyla Rose could really hurt those fucking females. Notice how you don't see Nyla Rose in intergender matches, though? Not in AEW. Do you see the point what I'm saying? But it was okay to put Sonny Kiss in those matches. It's not intergender because Sonny's a born male, but if Nyla Rose is booked, then it's considered intergender. See, and this is my point. I feel like wrestling is trying to embrace personas, lifestyles, instead of being a wrestling company and focus on putting on good, entertaining matches and storylines. Instead, let's try to make things more personal. Come on, man. If we are going to support a genre, we got to also understand that the genres vary because there's different companies. I don't want to see the same thing with every company. And for me, if I enjoy it all, that's better than having to pick and choose which one I want to watch. But you see the point, what I'm saying to you is, I've seen a lot of things happening in AEW that I liked, and I saw some things I didn't like, and I'm watching them rebound. Like, nah, they corrected a lot of shit. But I'm also watching a company like TNA, who has lost themselves. And I'm looking like, okay, so your pay-per-view Rebellion, you had a nice little crowd there. Cool. Right? Good. Great. But your champions look like shit. And you're just going back and forth with NXT. And even though you're going back and forth with NXT, it's overkill because we keep seeing it, we keep getting it, and nothing about it is really good TV. It's not something you're watching, it's like, I gotta see that. I really don't even care about what's happening. And then when I see what's going on within TNA, I'm just like, I watch their matches and it just feels flat. It just doesn't feel like, especially when I sit and watch the old stuff that TNA was doing and look at what they're doing now, it's like, wow, what happened, man? What happened to TNA? So, the whole thing with TNA is they're lost. They really don't know what they want to be. They really don't know what they want to be. And it's obvious that they took, at one point when they was doing like that Dead Realm shit with Father Mitchell and Rosemary and all that shit, right? Remember they played the bunny was dead. Of course we know she's not dead. And then the bunny went to AEW. But this whole Dead Realm shit, traveling through portals and all of this stupid stuff that they was doing, I didn't like that shit at all. I'm like, oh, come on, what the fuck are y'all doing, man? And I just really couldn't get into what TNA was doing at that point. And the product just started to suck. And I really was like, damn, man, it was hard to watch this shit. I'm watching it, and I'm trying to watch it. I'm trying to really, and like, okay, I'm looking at the direction that they're going, and I just couldn't get into it. And I started watching TNA become more and more of a sports entertainment company. And I said, okay, I see what's happening. And I said they need to honestly disband the X Division. They really need to get a title that means something, because the X Division has been booked the same way for the longest now. All they do is have like maybe 8 fucking people, and you call that a division? They book them in tag matches. They booked them in 4 ways. They booked them in 8-way matches. And what do? Every pay-per-view, let's put all these little motherfuckers in the ring together and the match, like, what is the match for? What does the match lead to? There's never any real storyline with the X Division, and pretty much it's the same thing. And then it just comes down to the X Division match that pops up here and there. But what is special about the X Division? Nothing. There's nothing about it anymore. And they've lost their ability to tell stories and bring interest. They've lost it. They don't know what they're supposed to be. And when I watch it, I really feel like it hits you like, damn, they're really lost. They don't know what the fuck they're supposed to be anymore. It was like, if you can't beat them, join them. Okay, let's try to be what the WWE is. This is what I see. This is exactly what I see with TNA, man. I mean, even the storylines that they have, this cartoonish type shit, is like, okay. How do you separate yourself from any other company when you try to do the same things? I look at NWA, I look at in fact, all of these different companies, MLW, I look at what's going on, man. And it's like, that's why I have to bring awareness to like Eric Bischoff. And I'm saying, you sit up here talking shit about AEW. AEW surpassed Nitro and it's in every way possible, and being the longest reigning show, in Dynamite on TBS. Not only that, you work for a fucking company called MLW that can't even fucking lace the boots of AEW. And the one thing about all of these companies outside of AEW and the WWE is, when you watch them, there's no consistency in their product. They'll have moments. Like, they'll have a show, okay, there was a real good match between this person, that person. Oh, they had a good match with this one and that one. Okay, next week it was a good show. The following episode, it just varies, man. It's not consistently good. So when I see things like that, I'm thinking, okay, I try to, like I said, follow what's going on. And, okay, maybe it's something I missed. But then there's nothing really to capitalize on. You're just watching wrestling episodes. So now, when it comes to primetime TV, when it comes to companies that have TV deals, companies that you can see and watch more regularly, it gets to the point where it's like, okay, look, I'm gonna end this video right here. I'm gonna do a part 2. I don't want to make it any longer than it already is, and I'll do a part 2. And I will see you guys real soon. Stay tuned.